So the Northwest Arts Council is a joke. The arts in Torrington, Connecticut, and the Northwest Corner are a joke, and so is the Northwest Arts Council. Personal differences may be aside, maybe not aside, because I don't really know what to really say. I mean, there was some personal differences in this. I'm not gonna deny that, but um, you know, they're saying that there's an arts night out for artists and stuff like that, but they say professional artists or professional artists. So I'm assuming if people don't consider you a professional, or people, which some people are going to say, oh, well, you're not professional to me, and stuff like that, because I didn't go to art school, or have any rich preppiness to my step when it comes to asserting myself in the arts. I worked really hard. I worked really hard. I worked beyond hard in the past. And I had over 500 paintings that I had done on canvas and cardboard and poster board and etc. I had over 500 paintings, and some of my stuff is really good. Some of my stuff is really good, and I was even told some of my writings were really good, and that's why the Beat Poetry Foundation, or the National Beat Poetry Foundation, at one point was publishing me because they thought my stuff was really good. But obviously that's kind of the hook where they got me. I was like, my stuff's really good, and I want your stuff in my projects, but I'm gonna make all the money for off your poem for my project. I might send you a free book, but I'm making all the money, and you're not gonna get any percentage of what I make for having your poem published in my book. So I didn't really like that shit too much, and I don't like that shit too much. But I just saw tonight. I mean, I blocked the Northwest Arts Council, but I was following them on my art page, and I saw tonight that they were having an arts night out again, and that arts night out was just, I think, in Norfolk or somewhere. I don't know, wherever it was. It's like they used the word professional. They used the word professional artist because, obviously that was a line, that was a stereotype line drawn for people like me, but who have mental health issues and stuff like that, who make art and stuff. But as I said before, I didn't go to art school, or are not considered professional enough, because we didn't have the rich preppy upbringing when it comes to our art and etc. We might be. I mean, I might be really good at art and stuff. I might be a really good writer, but people don't consider me really a professional and stuff like that, because well, one, I'm conservative, and most of the artists and stuff are liberal. So there's a liberal, there's an unspoken liberal and democratic push to kind of silence me and get me out of the arts, because um, most artists are liberal and democratic down here, and they don't really support Trump, and they really don't support what he's doing and etc. Since I turned conservative and stuff, I think I've got less interactions and less support from people and etc. But I mean, I'm not doing it for the support. I mean, if I'm gonna do some artwork and stuff, it's gonna be because I love to do the artwork, and it's because it's something I like to do. But I mean, I have so much artwork as it was, and my housing landlords have told me to get rid of my artwork. So I have some mental health people trying to look into places I can donate artwork, and donate some of my artwork to charity, or some places to see if they would display it for free, and take it, display it for free, and maybe just if they do that, just send me a picture or two saying, oh, your artwork was displayed here, and I can maybe can go along happily. But um people say I'm not professional enough because nobody wants to really show my work and etc. I'm having a hard time getting my artwork out there, and I've had a hard time getting my artwork out there, and having the support that I need, because unfortunately at one point I chose a group of friends to uplift and support me, and their support, and base it on their support to really try to uplift me and uplift my reputation as an artist, which was a stupid thing, because obviously if they chose not to support me and etc., I would come crashing down and etc., which happened, because obviously we have all had personal differences, and we have all had disagreements, and we don't agree with me being conservative. So there's obviously a lot of things going on there too. So There's a lot of personal betrayals. There's a lot of personal things. There was a lot of sly and underhanded shit that people have done. And I'm trying to be an artist. I'm trying to be, somebody who can still make it and still do something good in the world. Um, I'm trying to I'm trying to do it, but I'm also trying to keep my peace. I'm trying to keep my peace because right now I don't really have. Sorry, I got an itch. I got to keep my peace, and right now I got a lot of things trying to disturb my peace. The arts kind of disturbed my peace at one point too because obviously when people were doing the underhanded and shady shit, I obviously was feeling some type of way, and it was obviously disturbing my mental health and peace. But just some of the liberal, preaching alone that it's like, well, we believe in this, but don't do this or don't say this or we believe that we believe that all people matter, but we're saying Black Lives Matter, but you really don't matter, and all this other bullshit that people have been saying to me that is kind of like, oh, we believe in this, but we really don't believe in this, and we're kind of just bullshitting, So, but the art said something about being professional tonight, and I said, okay. Yeah, that's kind of their way of looking at me and guys like me saying you're not professional enough because you don't have the credentials of going to art school or the professionalism of education and etc. to really make it. So they're trying to do that to just kind of disqualify people like me and artists like me with their mental health and etc. So they don't have to deal with my conservativeness or have to deal with me in general because they feel like already that they burn bridges because of personal ties and betrayals that they feel like they've already fucked me over, so they'd rather just get rid of me and I have to see my instead of having to see my face. So um but I'm pretty much like pissed, at the Arts Council because the Arts Council is a waste of time. They pretty much uplifted me. I pretty much had the liberal friends up. I had liberal friends at one point, which I'm no longer liberal, and I obviously lost my friends because my outspokenness. But I was once a liberal, and I especially over the pandemic, and I once a liberal, and I once had people uplifting me as a liberal and somebody who was obviously being uplifted with my artwork and being supported with my artwork and etc. But I mean, it's all coming now. The truth is all coming out now, where it's like they're saying now that they really can't support me and this and that, and it's all been pretty much a lie and pretty much just a game to lead me on and get my hopes up and shit like that. Which some of that's because once again, I'm fucking conservative. Not to swear about it, but I mean, according that's how they're gonna say it. You're fucking conservative. So, um, they're just mad because they don't like the nigga shit that they do. All that nigga shit and all that trans dress transgender dressing. Guys dressing up in girls' clothes and guys wearing makeup and just because they don't want to believe in the DI for some of the that trans movement stuff going on that's really was pushing an agenda and stuff, and because I didn't want to believe in it, or because I didn't want to believe that that they want to say that Black Lives Matter, but yet they want to say all we're saying Black Lives Matter, but you matter too, but then they act like I don't matter. So it's that nigga shit. It's that nigga shit. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck, and neither do I give a fuck anymore. I mean, I think that's why I'm going to be liked by people because I'm starting to not give a fuck anymore about shit. Not with my mental health team when they're starting to fuck up and play games with me and disturb my peace. Not with a bunch of other shit either. So just not give a fucking shit anymore. Um, but yeah.